August 9th, we're stopping by the San Rocco Festa in Aliquippa. The San Rocco Festa happens August 8th through the 10th with music, games, food, and fireworks. Find out more at sanrocco.org. Find out where KDKA's KidCast, presented by McDonald's, will be next at kdka.com/KidCast.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Get KDKA on your smartphone. Download the radio.com app now at the iTunes and Google Play Store. KDKA, AMNHC, KDKA, FMHC2 Pittsburgh, and KDKA.com.
All right, news is coming up with CBS in just a moment. I have a question for you. If the woman strikes the man and then he hits her, is it blaming the victim then when you say that there's something that a woman can do to not provoke a domestic violence incident? When in reality she actually started it? Is there something wrong with saying that there's something that she can do to keep it from happening, keep it from escalating? What's wrong with even bringing that up? We did have a serious conversation about domestic violence. And if we're not willing to look at it from all angles, we're never going to have that serious conversation. Stay right there. News is coming up.
From the Lexus of North Hill Studios, this is the voice of Pittsburgh. News on KDKA now.
CBS News, I'm Jim Taylor. 12-hour truce over in Gaza. Hamas official says it rejects a 4-hour extension of the humanitarian truce proposed by Israel. Rockets are flying once again. We're live with CBS News correspondent Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
Palestinians fired at least 3 rockets at Israel immediately after Hamas announced that there would be no extension of the humanitarian truce. Israel has warned that fire will be answered with fire. The Hamas decision dashes the hopes of international mediators that the humanitarian truce would lead to a long-term ceasefire. Jim?
The U.S. Embassy in Libya ordered evacuated by Secretary of State John Kerry. CBS's Margaret Brennan with details.
They ordered the evacuation of personnel by land. There was fighting at the airport. They moved them through in cars because they needed military escorts to get into Tunisia, and that's where the diplomats will be working from until Kerry says to return to Libya.
Would Apple really do that?
Apple now acknowledges it extracts personal data from iPhones, including text messages, contact lists, and photos. This after an IT expert told a hackers conference iPhone users are not notified Apple's diagnostic services are running and cannot be disabled. He says Apple takes far more information than required, but Apple claims the diagnostic services provide needed information for engineers, developers, and troubleshooters. It denies it's created so-called doors for intelligence agencies. Larry Miller, CBS News.
President Obama says a loophole that lets companies dodge U.S. taxes by moving headquarters overseas is unpatriotic.
Right now, a loophole in our tax laws makes this totally legal. And I think that's totally wrong. You don't get to pick which rules you play by or which tax rate you pay. And neither should these companies.
It's the centerpiece of his weekly media address, Jobs, at the heart of the Republican message from Congressman Steve Daines of Montana.
We need action, not more press conferences and empty rhetoric. We need solutions, not more backroom deals or political games. And we need results, not more excuses, barriers, and delays. We need more jobs and less government.
Nigerian officials say they are screening passengers arriving from foreign countries for symptoms of Ebola. This after a traveler from Liberia died of the contagious disease in Lagos. Nigerian aviation officials say airports are also setting up holding rooms in case another potential Ebola victim lands in Nigeria. Everybody shut up. Who has the #1 album in the country right now? It kind of sounds like Robin Thicke. Which is what Weird Al Yankovic is all about. Parodies of hit songs. Just one of the singles on Mandatory Fun, Weird Al's first ever #1 album. This is CBS News.
Attention homeowners, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I have some important information for you regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. We've told you about HARP in the past, And more than 3 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. And Quicken Loans is here to help you save your money. The home loan experts at Quicken Loans fully understand the HARP guidelines. If you weren't HARP eligible in the past, new guidelines could mean that now you are. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. Or go to QuickenLoans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance calls. For cost information, equal housing lender license in all 50 states, NMLS number 3030.
Maybe you've heard about the American traveling on the world's roads on his bicycle. Kind of a sad ending from CBS News reporter Larry Miller.
Known as the Peace Cyclist, 61-year-old American Ron McGarity was knocked off his bike and killed by a drunk truck driver 160 miles from Moscow. Over the last 15 years, McGarity traveled more than 75,000 miles for charity. The last photo he posted on Facebook shows him in Moscow's Red Square. McGarity said cycling gave him the chance to deliver peaceful and spiritual messages to officials around the world. In a recent interview with Russian radio, McGarity said, "Nothing is planned. The unexpected is very important to me." Larry Miller, CBS News, London.
Officials at Denver homeless shelters say the legalization of marijuana there contributing to an increase in the number of younger people living on the streets. Urban Peak provides food, shelter, and other services to homeless under 24. They're seeing more of them. Salvation Army serving more homeless this summer. Big jump in people under 25 as well. I'm Jim Taylor, CBS News.
Experience great world-class soccer at Heinz Field this Sunday when Italy's AC Milan takes on England's Manchester City. It's part of the Guinness International Champions Cup. Get tickets at internationalchampionscup.com. See the world's greatest soccer superstars like Milan's Honda, Balotelli, and Man City's Aguero and Yaya Toure. Don't miss it this Sunday, July 27th at 4 at Heinz Field. Get your tickets now at internationalchampionscup.com and experience greatness.
Hello, this is Dr. James Weiner, host of Get Well Naturally, heard Saturdays at 1 p.m., inviting you to our huge party sale open house, the Weiner Wellness Week, Saturday, July 19th through the entire next week, ending 5 p.m. Saturday, July 26th. You'll eat free, delicious catered meals, listen to exciting and informative classes, experience free body testing, and save a bundle on our nutritional supplements, books, DVDs, and natural cosmetics. That's July 19th through the 26th at the Weiner Wellness Center, 2419 Baldwick Road, Greentree.
KDKA for the most dependable, up-to-the-minute AccuWeather forecast.
Clouds will break for some sunshine this afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm around, high 84. Still could be a shower or thunderstorm tonight, mostly cloudy, low down to 67. Tomorrow, some showers and thunderstorms around. Some could be severe in the afternoon with torrential downpours, damaging wind gusts, hail, and even isolated tornado. Tomorrow's high near 80. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson on News Radio 1020 KDK.
The following is an editorial by CBS Radio's Senior Vice President and KDKA General Manager, Michael Young.
It's all about getting where you want to go if you don't have a car or don't want to drive. Cabs can be hard to find in and around Pittsburgh, so a lot of people were excited when two ride-sharing services, Lyft and Uber, hit town earlier this year. Drivers are volunteers. Passengers use a smartphone app to get a ride. Almost everybody, from residents to elected officials, embraced the concept and protested when the companies were fined and their drivers cited. Problem was, Lyft and Uber started operating in Pittsburgh months before they asked the Public Utility Commission for permission. The PUC has now given them an emergency temporary thumbs up, provided that they meet a number of requirements. In the meantime, the commission is considering their applications to run an experimental service, and state lawmakers are working on legislation to allow it. There probably would have been a lot less trauma and drama if Lyft and Uber had gone into the PUC first. But at least there seems to be progress now, and hopefully Allegheny County residents will soon have a much-needed new and legal transportation option.
This has been an editorial by CBS Radio Senior Vice President and KDKA General Manager Michael Young. To view a transcript or to comment, go to kdka.com. Saturday afternoon with Mangino. News Radio 1020 KDKA.
Good afternoon, I'm Mangino. Saturday is brought to you by the Marley Financial Group. If you are sitting on a little bit of a retirement nest egg wondering what you can do in these uncertain times, get a hold of Todd Marley at the Marley Financial Group. Here's the phone number for you. Great guy, great company, great strategy, 724-884-1496. Okay, I want to talk some more about this whole with Ray Rice and Stephen A. Marley. Stephen A. Marley. I want to talk about what's going on here between Stephen A. Smith and Ray Rice, and the comments that Stephen A. Smith made on ESPN yesterday. That there's just been a tremendous amount of. I was listening to The Fan on my way in, and Bob Papiano was doing his show from 11 to 1 there, and he had a couple of guests on. One was the overnight host on CBS Sports Radio, on radio, and another was the Bleacher Report reporter that covers the AFC North. And their thoughts about the suspension that came down on Ray Rice and what that said to women. And they also talked about the comments made by Stephen A. Smith and his suggestions that there are things that we can do to provoke, and we need to make sure we're not doing anything to provoke. And they viewed it as, well, you're blaming the victim in this. I agree that a 2-game suspension isn't severe enough in dealing with assaults of one individual upon another. I would think that if Ray Rice was accused and criminally charged with physically assaulting to the point to where he engaged in knocking somebody out cold in an elevator that wasn't his fiance, then he'd be looking at more than 2 games. You just can't have somebody hitting somebody else in the NFL outside of the football field. You just can't have that happen. So did the NFL drop the ball? Yes. But ultimately, it's not going to have any consequence. It really isn't. I don't see for one moment female fans of the Baltimore Ravens not having a willingness to show up and go to Ravens games. Or football fans, NFL fans otherwise around the country, because they were both speaking on behalf of women throughout the country as fans of the NFL.